I've never seen a man run so fast as I did see a man run fast in Running.
That was bad. Running Man is the newest movie from Edgar Wright, starring Glenn Powell as the same character Glenn Powell always plays. It is the post-apocalyptic future. Well, it's the future where mega corporations have ruined everybody. And TV game shows are very popular, but they're almost the new gladiatorial games. Glenn Powell has a sick daughter, and he's sad about it. And the only way he can...
And he doesn't take off his shirt very much in this one, unlike every other Glenn Powell.
The only way he can save his daughter is if he's willing to run. But Thanos, who plays Larry Ellison, ironically in a Larry Ellison production, is evil, and he wants Glenn Powell to die through the Running Man, which is a game where you run away from assassins who are trying to kill you, and if you survive 30 days, you make $1 billion new dollars. So anyways, he runs. So Aiden, what did you think of The Running Man?
The Running Man is split into 3 distinct parts. The first 2/3 are like the actual Running Man stuff, and it's pretty fun. There's lots of wacky comedic moments where we get cutaways to commercials of this future time period, sort of like RoboCop. There's all sorts of Glenn Powell shenanigans where he's wearing stupid disguises and doing action stuff and blowing up buildings and fighting guys, and he meets a colorful cast of weirdos who become his allies, like the black family that run like a anti-government radio station, and Michael Cera as the Unabomber. And then in the last third, he gets on a cartoon plane and he fights the main henchman guy. And the movie gets a lot less interesting for a while, even though there's still some kind of cool action scenes. And then the third part is the final 5 minutes where the plane he's in explodes, and the underground radio guy has to stop the movie to explain how he survived to the audience, because in the original cut it didn't make sense why he survived. And then there's like eight endings. Like he meets up with his family, and then the credits start rolling, and then there's another ending after that, and then another one, and then another one, so that he can shoot Thanos in the face with a gun. So basically, like, the first 2/3 of this movie, which is slightly too long, are a lot of fun, and then it's slightly less fun, and then the ending's just fucking awful. The cast is great, you know. Glenn Powell is the generic charisma man. He's sort of like Ryan Reynolds, but like, even though he's obviously as fake as Ryan Reynolds,
he's more like the new age Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
That's how I'd describe him.
He's like an artificial charisma man in the way Ryan Reynolds is, but he's not grating like Ryan Reynolds. He's more like a Channing Tatum, where he's got a goofiness to him.
He's not a great actor, but he's got everything else, and you're like, I guess I don't hate this guy.
Yeah.
But half of his purpose in the movie is just to get shirtless and run around beating up guys because he's a fucking tank of a man.
He doesn't have like the Ryan Reynolds class clown quipping man ego to him that Ryan Reynolds has. So he's like better Ryan Reynolds. So he's charming. You know, I think the rest of the cast is pretty strong. Like, Thanos makes a pretty good villain. I like they have like a DJ for the Running Man who kind of serves as the two-faced announcer. I think he's really good, and he has a strong presence. And most of the side characters work. I think the Michael Cera bit is something. It's odd. I wouldn't really call it out of place. It does kind of fit the movie, but I don't know if Michael Cera was the person to do it. But yeah, it's a dumb, fun action movie. It is kind of unfortunately late era Edgar Wright, where the Edgar Wrightisms have been sanded off by the studio system. So while it does shine through occasionally, it feels like kind of feels like an Amazon original movie, but like a really competent one, as opposed to one that's like subpar competent.
Peyton Reed could have directed this movie, taken over, and it would have been far worse.
True. But yeah, it's a fun movie. I mean, I've never seen the original, so that maybe helps, because I know a lot of people are comparing it to the original negatively. But I've never seen that movie, so I can't make that comparison. So maybe if I saw the original, I'd be like, oh, this one just stinks in comparison. But it seemed, the first 2/3 seemed pretty fun to me. So I enjoyed it for what it was. It just kind of loses its steam towards the end. Connor, what'd you think of The Running Man, parentheses 2025, parentheses?
You know, this kind of feels like, at one point there were a couple of Paul Verhoeven remakes. We had Total Recall and RoboCop. And what I think is funny is Total Recall starred Arnold Schwarzenegger like the original Running Man did. Yep. So now we're on to the Arnold Schwarzenegger remakes. We're just transitioning over.
Yeah.
No,
we even had Terminator Genesis a few years ago, which was like
Yeah.
soft. I mean, not like a few years ago, as in like 10 years ago, but that was pretty much just a remake of Terminator 2.
I haven't seen that original Running Man, but there's something that tells me that seeing Arnold Schwarzenegger in this role would have been kind of fun. Glenn Powell's okay. I don't really have anything against him. Like I said, he's kind of the new age Channing Tatum, where he's just ripped, attractive man. The guys can like him because he's beating dudes up, and the girls can like him because of his chiseled six-pack abs.
Slightly goofy, ripped, attractive man.
Yep. And, you know, his character is pretty quiet, but does a bunch of goofy stunts and takes his shirt off and beats people up.
Wears silly costumes.
He's fine. He's fine for what it is. I really have nothing against Glenn Powell. He's not someone where I'm like, Glenn Powell, dude, I need to watch this movie. But it's
I'm
like
kind of becoming that person after Twisters.
Yeah, that's true. Twisters was pretty good because Glenn Powell again wasn't very good in that movie, but
he was
it was perfect. And I feel like in a way, there's something similar here. Like I don't know. I didn't dislike the guy by any means. This movie is interesting. The cinematography ranges from really. I'll just pause so you can cut out the part where you're digging through your pants.
I'm sorry, I look at your niche.
Yeah, that's the worst. The cinematography ranges from really bad to like pretty decent. The editing, they tried to do some of the Edgar Wrightisms, and occasionally they did, and sometimes they just got sloppy and used like these CGI transitions to kind of fake the old school bombastic editing of Edgar Wright. And it's like a CGI character jumps across the scene or something, and like, you know, the guy's dead body flying across the camera is the wipe, you know. It's fine. Like, it's fun enough. It's really stupid. There isn't much to it. There's obviously this kind of inherent added in, like, classism thing and, like, irresponsibility with the media, which is hilarious given the fact that this is owned by the Ellises, who are just gonna fucking destroy Paramount and Warner Brothers in the next couple of years with AI slop. But I think this is one of the last movies we ever see from Paramount that isn't 100% created by computers. That might be a bit of an exaggeration, but also I'm not convinced it isn't an exaggeration. Or it is. Yeah, I mean, it's adequate. It's fine.
Oh, nice check.
There isn't a ton else to really say about the movie. it is a little bit disappointing. You watching this, if I was just to watch this movie without knowing it was an Edgar Wright movie, I don't think I would have realized, which is kind of unfortunate. But I feel like a lot of Edgar Wright was like, he had that like 10-year run. And I think he still had some hits. He's had some misses. But for the most part, he's still one of those, he kind of just makes like forgettable slop these days, unfortunately. But he's really decent. He makes really decent forgettable slop. But in a way, I do see that this was definitely like, okay, it's Edgar Wright, so we'll put it in the theaters. But it more or less felt like a Paramount Plus original remake of The Running Man that they put in theaters because it's a relatively not totally unknown IP, and it's directed by a big director with a big actor. But this shit could have gone out on Amazon Prime or Paramount Plus, and
would have fit right in.
Would have fit right in. Honestly, this feels like one of those like Netflix Red Notice type vibes where it's just like some forgettable action movie. And like, it is a sci-fi world, and I thought there was some stuff that was really well done for that, but Edgar Wright used to be one of the most creative minds in Hollywood for a couple of years there, or England, I guess, when he started. The old across the pond, or whatever the fuck you say. Ingerland. And, creatively, it just isn't, he isn't what he used to be. This is pretty forgettable. So, Aiden, would you recommend Running Man?
I'm kind of on the fence about it. I think it's good enough, and we're entering the movie drought season. It's pretty fun. I think the end is such a slog. I think that's really kind of the hard part about it. Like, the first hour and a half are a lot of fun, and then it just suddenly kind of slams the brakes on itself and fizzles out. I guess it's a light yes. I mean, it's fun enough. It just kind of leaves you with a bad aftertaste. Connor, would you recommend The Running Man?
Yeah, I'd recommend it. I feel like I have to agree with Aiden that it does kind of fizzle at the end, where it doesn't know where it wants to end. It wants to be a happy ending and kind of give our character everything, when that's sort of the antithesis of the messaging of most of the movie. Making him some kind of like vigilante, invincible Superman who can just I don't know, it's weird. The ending's kind of bad, but for the most part it's kind of like a fun little breezy action film. It could have maybe stood to be a little shorter. I think there's a couple moments that kind of drag, but like when Michael Cera and Glenn Powell teamed up for a few scenes, that was super fun. So there was some good moments. And I think, especially like Aiden said, we're going into the Hollywood drought season. Other than Avatar, you pretty much got to take what you can get the next couple
Wicked
of months.
2, baby.
And Wicked 2. Avatar and Wicked 2.
If you have a girlfriend, you can see Wicked 2, and everyone can see Avatar 2. But otherwise, you're watching The Running Man.
Yeah, I think the thing is, like, there's also, like, World of Pets 2 or whatever coming out at the same time as Wicked on Thanksgiving. You kind of got the Thanksgiving family movies, so if you're into family movies, there's some stuff for you to watch, and there's Avatar, but in terms of stuff I'm interested in, it's like, yeah, I'll watch the third Avatar, of course, but realistically, like, we're pretty much gotta take what we can get. So if you're interested in seeing a movie, I think it's adequate, but if it doesn't look like something that immediately sticks out to you, or if you're not just looking for some dumb action fun, then I wouldn't really go out of your way for it. It's not a must see, but it's watchable. It's fun enough.